Good morning and welcome to the P&B Morning Show. My name is Isa. A very beautiful Monday morning here from the capital city of Abuja and also from the beautiful studio of the Politics and Business daily program. We do have programs like this to be able to start up your day, for you to have a refreshing memory of what had happened in the past and possibly what will be happening today, and also delve a little bit about the futuristic pattern of the country. My name is Isa, just like I rightly noticed you earlier on. And together with me in the studio is
Apampa Anifa. Thank you for joining us today and come along with us as we discuss some happenings, things that happened over the weekend and the ones that are going to happen today. So come with us as we share with you the stories on the table for the day.
Apampa. I hope you had a very good week,
yes,
or let me say a very good weekend.
A good weekend.
And looking at the situation of things in the country, I believe you're also abreast. Just last week when I did inform the House that I attended a program and I saw little ones, the students of secondary school, actually also complaining about the nature of inflation we are having. During my time in secondary school, I don't know much about inflation, but the students we have now, they understand virtually everything.
They do understand, because when they go back home, daddy will complain, mommy is complaining, you go back to school, even the teachers are talking about it. So literally, it's actually sinking in on them too, because they're actually at the receiving end at the end of the day. You need this, daddy can't provide it because inflation is affecting daddy.
So in all this, when you look at the situation in the country, there is this image that has been painted that everything seems to be good. And in reality, what we face, because just recently, I attended a program where issues on agriculture was actually discussed. And I think it's the same week in National Agricultural Loan Fund, the leadership of that particular organization was in the Southwest, where he presented a topic on agriculture. And he said, look, agriculture is a gold mine that we are yet to tap. But the truth still remains that we are actually yet to tap it. And that's one of the major reasons why we are having challenges in this country. But looking at the way things are going, do you really see us delving or diversifying fully? Because the budget has actually shown that we've not actually done much in terms of agriculture.
And even the past president actually tried so much to actually make us delve into the agriculture economy to a very large extent, but still till now, we've actually not gone deep into it. So, and it is actually more lucrative on the other hand, because oil on the other hand is actually not giving us much anymore like it used to. So agriculture is a new gold.
Agriculture indeed is a new gold, new gold mine. And for many Nigerians, just yesterday, just like I mentioned, the last phrase when we were having the conversation on agriculture, gold mine. One of the mines in Niger State was has actually collapsed and also killed over 25 persons in Niger State. And just recently, we had the issue of the Jiko tanker incident. And just this same weekend, we still have another one happening also in that same location. What are your take? What is actually happening in Niger State? These are some of the issues that are actually very, very disturbing, seeing that week in, week out, we are recording death and nobody is actually taking responsibility for it.
I read on the news this morning that even the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked the FRSC to find a way to curb issues like this. And I think one of the ways to curb issues like this is for them to actually find a better way of transmitting this thing, because accidents, we don't plan for it. These things happen. That's why they are accidents. So we should find a better way. One step in mitigating crises like this is find a better way in transmitting this fuel, because we all know that this is actually a highly inflammable substance and anything can happen once just one mistake happens. Yes.
So we're going on a very short break now, and when we return, we'll be kicking off with the conversation. On our timeline is this. We'll start with the social media angle, just like we've introduced ourselves, discussing some of the happenings over the weekend, and also after the social media angle, we'll be joining our guest, who is actually supposed to be here in the studio. Just returned from Lagos yesterday, but unfortunately he couldn't make it, but he could be joining us either via call or Zoom after the social media, and then we'll delve into the dailies of the days, and for us to be able to understand what is actually happening in the country before we call it a close and for the day's job. So we're going on this break, and when we return, we'll start up with the social media angle.
P&B Television, your trusted source for the latest stories making wave across Nigeria and the world. I am Anifa Apampa, and as always, I will be your guide through the most talked about events, capturing public attention from political power play to social movement and viral movement. We've got you all covered. Let's jump right into the top trending stories. First on the list is the controversy surrounding the former Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa, after his recent impeachment. Obasa has come forward to insist that he is still the legitimate Speaker, citing a lack of due process in the proceeding. According to Obasa, I am not afraid of being removed. After serving for nearly a decade as Speaker, I understand the process and it must be adhered to. This bold statement has sparked viral widespread reaction online. Many Nigerians have criticized the alleged irregularities, while others question Obasa's sudden focus on due process. One social media user wrote, Obasa don't turn due process activists. Nigerian politicians only call for proper procedures when it's the public awaits further development as the controversy unfolds. Moving on next, we have a viral video of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, that has sent social media into a frenzy. The clip shows Buhari in Katsina handling musician soldier outer US dollars in response to a song praising him. While some Nigerians applaud his generosity, others question the optics of a former Nigerian president casually spending foreign currency instead of promoting the naira. One user remarked, how does this reflect on our economy? Even after leaving office, leaders like Buhari set example by prioritizing the naira over foreign currency. The video has reignited discussions about leadership of patriotism in governance. The stories continue to trend as many debate on the implication of this act. And now, as we move on to the most anticipated event of the day, a nationwide protest against police extortion using the hashtag #EndPoliceExtortion. Nigerians are gearing up to occupy the Nigerian police headquarters in Abuja, spearheaded by Nigerian activist Omoyele Sowore. The protest aimed to draw attention to the persistent issues of police officers demanding bribes and extorting citizens. Many Nigerians feel this is a critical moment to demand accountability and reform. As this protest gained momentum, all eyes are on the Inspector General of Police. Will there be a constructive engagement, or will the protest face resistance? The nation waits to see if this moment will ignite another wave of activism of NSARS. Stay tuned for live updates on this important story of the day. On the foreign space, Donald Trump makes wave again as Trump was sworn in as for the second time as the 47th president of the United States and wasted no time in implementing bold policies. One of the policies he implemented was that there won't be citizenship by birth anymore in the United States, though this will actually be debated as it is written in the Constitution of the United States that once you are given birth to in the United States, you are automatically granted citizenship. Before we go, let's touch down on some lighter moments on social media. A heartwarming video of a young girl teaching her peers how to read has gone viral, with many praising her for her education and dedication. With the hashtag Unstoppable Nigerians is trending, showcasing inspiring stories of resilience and creativity across the country. It's a reminder that despite the challenges we face, Nigerians continue to push boundaries and thrive in remarkable ways. Thank you for joining us today on What's Trending on P&B TV, where we bring to you stories that matter the most. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at P&B Television and more trending stories. I am Apampa Anifa, wishing you a safe and productive day ahead. Stay tuned for more. Thank you.
Welcome back from that social media segment discussed by Anifa, putting us on the light of what is happening on our social media handles this morning. Anifa, you raised so many issues. One of them was the issue of the Lagos State Speaker, and also so many other issues with respect to the foreign scene, what is actually happening outside the country. But then, at the end of the day, this Obasa issue, well, it's something we are going to actually discuss extensively during our program. Let us take the other part of the program. What are the other issues you raised? And
The other issue, one of it is the end police extortion. Now the protest is scheduled to take place today at 9 a.m. to
Okay.
occupy the police headquarters for them to demand the end police extortion, because the Nigerian citizens are complaining bitterly that extortion has actually been the order of the day when it comes to police officers. People can't move around freely without police stopping them to extort from them one way or the other. So it's becoming a trending issue, and the protest is to start today.
okay, we hope it won't be violent as it used to be, and we hope they've actually also collected permits. They've gained permit for them to be able to carry out the end police program extortion, isn't it?
Yes.
I think the same way the Minister of Livestock in person of Engineer might have raised critical issues with respect to transporting cows from, or let me say, livestock from the north to the south. He said that each trailer spent over 1.4 trillion naira just to transport cow from the north to the south. So these are million naira. Sorry,
Okay.
these are major issues that we actually need to look out for. And the Obasa issue is actually becoming a major problem for the Lagos State government, because now with the coming of Mamora stating it very clear that there is that Obasa still remains the leader of the House of Assembly, the LSHA, that's Lagos State House of Assembly. It draws so many questions that there is a faction now in Lagos, and if this continues, that is the home state of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and definitely I will hope that will be settled. If it snowballs into a major crisis, it will not be good for Lagos State. And you raised another issue with respect to the foreign scene. What is happening there?
When the Donald Trump has already said that now he's trying to withdraw the right of citizenship by birth, but and again it is actually there's another controversy, because it is in the constitution, which means this policy he wants to actually put in place right now can't stay in place immediately, because they have to go to court to fight this. So because it's in the constitution of the United States that once you are born in the United States, you're a US citizen, but he wants to withdraw that. So right now they're going to court to fight that.
Donald Trump has been coming up with so much this week and last week. The issue of taking back, deported some citizens of Brazil and I think Mexico, Colombia back, and then they were all handcuffed. Imagine taking you back to your country, because that's a very huge word coming from him. And we hope many Nigerians, just like a friend said, I hope they are preparing. But we pray that at the end of the day, everything becomes better for every one of us. And we hope to have a very good day, a very good week this week. And for Donald Trump, well, he has actually enacted so much within this short period of his stay in office. And one of the key issues that the world is actually against is for him to say that Palestinians should be absorbed by Egypt and Lebanon. This is something that the world is actually kicking. Is another way of cementing the fact that what Israel is doing in Gaza is right, which is very, very bad. That is not right. Killing of people, maiming of children, destroying of hospitals, water facilities, lights, and every source of livelihood in Gaza is bad, and the world is actually kicking against it. That's not the best way to go. And if the president of the United States of America is stating that he's going to release over 200 million pounds of weapons back to Israel, it shows that the United States is not actually ready for peace in that particular region. And if the world is not at peace, then how do we now progress as human? Sometimes we ask ourselves, are these people actually humans or they are aliens? But then, this is how far we can go with this segment. And when we return back from the break, we'll be joined by Uche Nnadozie, a public affairs analyst and editor with The Politics, join us to discuss the issue of Lagos State House of Assembly. Is it impeachment, removal, or resignation? One of these three, our focus for today. So stay tuned while we go on this break. Welcome back from that mile break, and Uche Nnadozie will be joining us. And before then, we have our co-anchor here in the studio in personal form.
Abraham Abba. Good
Abraham, it's
morning.
nice having you, and I discovered that that's your route is very, very tough when trying to ferret your way down here. The issue of traffic has always been a major issue, and we hope that
Well,
with time it will be resolved.
we're praying that the minister will hasten because the road is too many, and then people that are coming from that axis, you could see that on Monday, that place is so jam
But
packed,
if
and
you look, it is actually better from the last. The road was very, very narrow before now. It was expanded, but we hope that there should be another route where people
no,
can
no. Now
easily.
we have. I think we should have like two routes. There's one from Karshi and the other one from the army barracks.
Okay, that way it is
Yeah,
going to
so
suppress
it will
the
reduce a lot
traffic
of
in that
traffic.
axis.
So
And let us quickly move back to what we are discussing. The Lagos State House of Assembly, and then the continuation of challenges coming in. In this particular aspect, let us look at what Obasa has done. Just before now, there was an issue that has to do with his impeachment. But many have said, is it impeachment? Many have said, is it removal? Because these are two key terms in politics that you just have to know what it is for you to call it the way it is. Impeachment or removal. But then Mamora has actually stated this very clear, that if it is impeachment, definitely there must be allegation. And this allegation must be substantiated. When it is not substantiated, it is not impeachment. And if it is removal, why the removal? What are the reasons for the removal? Two-thirds majority of the House, we need to actually call for his removal. But then these are some of the issues that we hope that many will actually look into, and then the Lagos State Governor will actually do the needful. With the coming of the Governor Advisory Council also playing a major role, I was also informed that Obasa was actually here in the capital city in Abuja before he returned back to Lagos a day before. And so much was stated. I've discussed with one or two State House of Assembly members. Many have actually declined speaking to the public or to media in order for them not to be seen as taking side. But joining us now is Uche in Nadozie. Mr. Uche, good morning and welcome to a Politics and Business morning show. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Very well.
Okay, it's nice getting you on board this morning, and so much we'll be discussing this morning. Sorry I had to tickle you up as at last night to inform you about this program this morning. But then, can you give us a quick rundown of what actually happened before the impeachment? Will you call it impeachment or removal of the former Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Obasa?
I think that the semantics of
Please, can you put on
impeachment
your
or
mic? Your mic. We can't hear you from our studio here. Can you put on your mic, please?
the mic is on. I don't know if you can hear me now.
We still can't get you clear, but then can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, I can hear you. I can
I
hear
hear
you
you
now.
perfectly.
Okay. Please, can you just go ahead with the
Okay.
question asked? Can you just give us a rundown? Is it an impeachment, a removal, or an abscondment? Which of them, please?
No, I think the issue about if you saw the proceedings in the Lagos State House of Assembly on the, was it 13th or 15th? They never mentioned anything about impeachment. And of course, they are legislators. They know what the rules are, that you don't impeach a presiding officer. So they went ahead to remove their presiding officer without any sort of controversy. I think the controversy was created in the public space, and that for me, really, the former speaker stands removed.
Oh, okay. Now you've actually termed it removal, but then let us look at this particular scenario. As at when this action was taken, he was not sitting on his seat as the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. I believe it was the deputy who was actually presiding over that particular impeachment or removal, as you've rightly said, stated. in this particular scenario, do you think the State House of Assembly was actually fair to him? Because they raised issue of misappropriation, they raised issues of high-handedness, and they raised about 3 to 4 issues were actually raised, or concerns were actually raised with respect to Obasa. But in this particular case, many have actually argued that those legislators were not fair to him, because if you have these issues, if they have these challenges with him, they would have set up a panel of inquiry and then come out with their findings. So why the alacrity in getting him out of office?
If you look back to how our legislature functions, especially with relation to their presiding officers, you will realize that they do not need any convention, because really we are referring to impeachment, because impeachment is a process that has to do with allegations, panels, conviction before removal. But for removal of presiding officers in the legislature, you do not require that process. Any day you are tired of your presiding officer, be the president of the Senate or the deputy or the speaker in the House of Reps or at the State Assembly, the members can remove, so long as they meet 2/3 majority, they can remove their presiding officer at any time. The individual does not need to be in the assembly before he is removed. It's not a trial. So that's what the Constitution, that's how the Constitution sees it. The presiding officer does not need to go through a trial before removal. Therefore, he's not supposed to be, he's not obliged to be in the House, in the chambers, or in his office before he's removed. So long as the members meet 2/3 majority, remember, they can summon the assembly, they can hold a plenary and move a motion. It's actually a motion the presiding officer and set up a panel and get him or her. You don't need that process in removing a presiding officer of the legislature in Nigeria. It does not mean that the members may not choose that route if they wish, but where they don't, as is the case with Lagos, they have committed any error, they are within their rights to remove their presiding officer at any time, at any the number that is required to, number one, seats, number two, go ahead to remove the individual they want to remove.
Okay, with what you've stated now, let us quickly take a listen to how it all happened. And I want to ask you to pay very close attention to what Obasa stated after he returned back to Lagos, when he was having conversation with some of his allies with respect to his removal, or just like you rightly said, he was removed, not an impeachment process. But then let us take a listen to him and his complaint that if you have all this allegation, why not follow the right process in getting him out of office?
As we speak, has surpassed my history, my position, and everything I think of. And experience as well. So I respect my colleagues in the Lagos State House of Assembly. They are my brothers, they are my sisters, they are my colleagues. I respect them, and I will continue to do that because I spent very most important of my life in that house. Anywhere you work for 20-something years, you cannot disregard and you cannot take for granted. I believe in removal. There is no impeachment in the assembly. You cannot impeach speaker. Probably there's a mistake from them. You can only remove one of these. You can only remove the speaker. And if you are going to remove, you must ensure you follow the rules of the process am I voting for? If I serve as a speaker of 10 years, and I serve as a member of the House of Assembly since 2003 up to date, so what is the problem? Nothing. And the former councillor as a legislator. What I'm saying, if you want to do that, do it constitutionally. Follow the due process. Okay, let me ask you. Early in the morning on that day, policemen invaded the House of Assembly, led by the Commissioner of Police. What was he doing in the House of Assembly? What was his business in the House of Assembly? My house in Agege was invaded, more than 200 policemen. Go and investigate. And this house was blocked. My people from Agege were detained in blackmail. My children did not sleep in this house on that day because they were locked out, and my wife kept inside. Go and verify.
That's from the former Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. Mr. Ochi, I believe you listened to him clearly. He raised critical issues, the issue of rights and freedom. Even he raised a major concern with respect to the trauma that could have actually posed for his children. Then listening to what he has said, he said due process was not followed, that the Speaker of the House of Assembly cannot be impeached, and due process was not followed in his removal. He is not afraid of removal. What's your reaction to this? And looking up to what the police actually did on that particular day, is it that the governor has a major interest in all this? Okay, we lost Uche Nadozie, and we hope to get him back. And until he's back, these are some of the issues that we'll be discussing here in the studio while we have him out. And Abraham, you listened to the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. But before you respond to that, I also want you to take a listen to how he was actually removed from office. So let's have the next clip on his removal from the Lagos State House of Assembly. Okay, while the directors...
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I, Honorable Femi Said, representing Koshofer Constituency 2, brings to the House, under a matter of urgent public importance, motion for the removal of the Speaker. Right Honorable Mudashir Ajayi Obasa as the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. In line with the provision of section of 92, section 2, section 6, C of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, I hereby move that the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashir Ajayi Obasa, be removed as Speaker of this House Assembly for the following reason. 1. Gross misconduct and poor leadership, including perpetual lateness to legislative sections and meetings. 2. High-handedness and lack of regard for honorable member at all times, intimidation and suppression of members, including inciting members against one another. 3. Financial inappropriateness, misappropriation of funds and lack of transparency in its management of the House of Assembly funds. 4. Gross abuse of office and privileges as the Speaker of the House of Assembly via authoritarian and undemocratic leadership style. 5. The erosion of trust among honorable members due to unethical practices and inability to carry the majority of members' assembly along in decision making. Resolved that the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashir Ajayi Obasa, be removed as the Speaker of this Lagos State House of Assembly. I so move.
Good afternoon, Madam Speaker, distinguished colleagues. This morning I rise this afternoon to second the motion of removal of Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Mudashir Ajayi Obasa, as the Lagos State House of Assembly, ably moved by Honorable Femi Said. I so second them.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
welcome back from that mild one. And we've seen and we've listened to how it all transpired in the Lagos State House of Assembly, with all in favor say aye. And Abraham, just before now, we were trying to ask Mr. Uche to actually look at some of these issues that Mr. Right Honorable Obasa, the former speaker, actually raised on how he was actually removed from office. He said due process were not followed. Mr. Uche, if you can just quickly react to this before Abraham asks you his question, and then we'll go to Anifa.
Please ask the question again.
Okay, I said during the course of that mild interlude that we had there, the speaker actually did stated that, number one, due process were not followed in his removal. That's one. And number two, he has been a member of the State House of Assembly from 2003. So he's one of the most experienced legislator in that particular House of Assembly. And constitutionally, the process were not carried out constitutionally. And thirdly, Commissioner of Police actually came to his locality or his community to actually gang him up in such a way that he cannot leave his area. And he actually raised issues of trauma, that it actually caused the children so much pain. So in this particular case, saying that they didn't follow due process, how will you react to this?
Like I said before, he has not listed the due process that was not followed. If he is still standing on them not charging him and setting up a panel and all that, we know through the Nigerian Constitution that is wrong. You do not need to impeach, because impeachment is a charge, and you do not need a charge to remove a presiding officer of the legislature in Nigeria. That is what the Constitution says. So I don't expect him, since he appears that he's not happy with what has happened to him. So I don't expect him to just go home. Therefore, it is expected that when somebody feels injured or unhappy, he will react somehow. So his own reaction is exactly what we are seeing now. For Commissioner of Police going to the House of Assembly, I didn't know that his children stay at the House of Assembly.
No, not in the House of Assembly, in Agege local government. In Agege local government.
For goodness sake, Agege is still part of Lagos State. I'm not sure that the Commissioner of Police is precluded from going to Agege. So if the Commissioner of Police or any other security agency feels that there might be a breakdown of law and order, he has the right to go and assess the situation of things within the state. He didn't go outside the state. As at the time that the issue happened, the former speaker was in the United States. Therefore, he couldn't have said that the Commissioner of Police went to arrest him or stop him from moving around the United States, where he does not have jurisdiction. But of course, I'm not the spokesperson of the police. I think that the police should respond to that. However, since there is no evidence that has been used in the public space that the Commissioner of Police or any other security agency for that matter did anything to warrant any illegal activity at the House of Assembly, which is the most important thing in then for me, whatever other issues he has with the police, he has the wherewithal to file the case in court and let the court decide if the Commissioner of Police did anything wrong to his family.
Okay, Abraham wants to ask you a question, a colleague of mine here in the studio. Abraham, if you can just go ahead so that Uche can listen to that question.
Mr. Uche, good morning. I just read through what Mamora said here. Yes, Mamora said, he who must come to equity must come with clean hands. That is my position. That is what Mamora said. So I feel what the speaker did is actually wrong. There's a lot of allegation on him. If you're listening on the floor of the chamber where the president took place that day, so definitely, I think Obasa has a lot to tell Nigerians. So my question is, why is he hiding under the guise that there is nothing wrong with him being removed or impeached?
Like I said, he feels wronged. So if he feels wronged, and this is a political activity, um, therefore he is expected to react somehow. He has the right to speak, and so he has been exercising that right since he returned from the United States. I do not see anything wrong in him trying to defend himself, even if the defense appears to fly, to not hold water. Therefore, the former Speaker of the House of Assembly in Lagos State, that's Senator Mamora, also has made his point that he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So if he has allegations, even some of those allegations were even in public space before the steps taken by his colleagues to remove him, that's Obasa. And in some cases, he went to court to try to clear his name. So now that he's no longer the speaker, even though he didn't have immunity, he has every right to face those issues. So if he feels that the House, even though what is said in the House is not subject to any judicial interpretation, anything said on the floor of the House, but he has seen some of those allegations against him, some financial and others, then others. So he has the right to, if he feels maligned, to go to court to say, look, if you have any allegation, since you have made this allegation, and I don't think I did some of these things, please come and explain. Bring evidence to come and explain some of these things. So for me, this is just blustering. The former speaker is blustering. He feels bad that he was removed. But if we go back to some of the behind the scene activities that happened even in December 2024, when the president was in Lagos on holiday, we know that this issue came up and he was called to state his side of the story. Some of the things that have been mentioned were not even about financial infractions. Some of them border on relationship between him and the governor. Some of them border on the relationship between him and his members and how he manages the House. Remember, by June, he will have been 10 years as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. So he's just a few months shy of that milestone. Then, of course, there are other issues that people have raised that he also somehow alluded to that has to do with 2027, that he's interested to be governor. Of course, he has the right to contest for governor. If not in his present party, there are 17 others.
Mr. Oche, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, and I would like to ask, do you think this removal was actually due to his fallout with the governor of Lagos State? Or like he said in his video, it's not a sin to have a governorship ambition, but he hasn't actually even outrightly said he has an ambition to run for the governor's seat yet. So could it just be like...
Yeah, some of us that pay attention to politics know that, yes, he wants to contest the election. And this is not the first time. He also wanted to contest some years before now. The fact is that he has the right to contest. And for me, looking at everything, all the issues raised, I don't think this has anything to do with him contesting the election. He has the right to contest. Like I said before, if he can't contest, if for any reason he can't contest in his party, he has the right to contest on other platforms. There are 17 other political parties, and there may be other political parties that will come up before the next election.
But another party stand a chance.
I don't think this has anything to do with that.
Okay, let me quickly come back to you, Mr. Ochi. Looking at what you just reeled out now, that he has other opportunities to actually stand for governorship candidates and come 2027 in other political parties. This is the same person that has been the Lagos State House of Assembly leader or speaker of that particular assembly for good almost 10 years, just like you've rightly stated. He has been with this particular team of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Fashola, Ambode, and the rest. And for you to say that he should actually show his ambition through other political platforms. Don't you think that will not be fair to him?
No, it's a suggestion. I'm saying that for people who say that his rumored ambition to contest for governor in 2027 may be the reason why he was removed as speaker, that the fact is that he also has the right to go to other parties if he has the capacity to contest for governor. It is not a must that he should contest under APC, his party now. So if
So
he really
could that be the
feels...
reason? Could that be the more reason why? Because now, beyond even that of Obasa, we have so many people who actually have interest to become the governor of Lagos State. And one of them, let me say, fans of some of these particular persons have actually started the politicking. And one of it is the son, allegedly, that is the son of the president, in person of Seyi Tinubu, who is actually one of the major contender for that particular position, as we've seen on social media and by some of his aides. And then the second one is actually the chief of staff. Just recently, this chief of staff, during the Christmas or New Year break, when he was in Lagos, he actually raised critical concerns about the politics in the presidency with respect to his ambition. For him, for now, he has not declared to even contest, just like Obasa actually said. But you know, politicians with their way of mincing words, and at the end of the day, you see them at that particular stage actually contesting. So when you look at all these play out, Obasa in the middle, Chief of Staff Femi Gbajabiamila, and then Seyi Tinubu, and then you also look at the role of the Governor's Advisory Council, a major stakeholder in determining who actually becomes the governor of Lagos State. Looking at all this, the governor of Lagos State would definitely have an interest. So do you actually see this particular problem between the, for me, it could be that they have problem between himself and the governor. Do you actually see all this thing playing fairly for the APC in Lagos State come 2027?
Okay, let me take them one by one. I'm not the spokesperson of Seyi Tinubu, but I want to say it here that Seyi Tinubu is not contesting for government. But people are free to use his name to make money. You know, they can say he wants to contest and all that, but he's not contesting for government. Secondly, so if the chief of staff has been said to be interested in being governor, he spoke about it the last time he was in Lagos. So why hasn't he resigned or been sacked as chief of staff? Why is it that he's the speaker that is removed because he wants to contest for governor? If the chief of staff also wants to contest for governor, so why hasn't he been sacked or why hasn't he resigned? That clearly shows for me that talking about the Obasa and the governorship election in 2027 does not really matter. But like I said before, this is politics. So people will look for what will make people like them or feel as if they are being victimized. Because if you are victimized in the public space, you get people's sympathies. But unfortunately for him, some of us look beyond some of these very trivial issues. Nobody will remove him as speaker because he wants this. Like I said, this is not the first time he sought to contest for governor. He was not only returned in the House, he also was re-elected as speaker. He has tried to contest for governor before. So that's not an issue. And like I've said, yes, he has had instances in public space that he has had issues with relationship between him and the present government. In 2023, when the governor submitted list of commissioners, you saw how he stood against majority of those appointed. In fact, it became an embarrassment to the government of Lagos State. Sometimes I even felt that when the governor ran to Abuja that time, it was in relation to the sort of obstructionist politics that the former speaker was playing. So
indeed,
because all of them belong to the Bola Tinubu political family. So I think that whatever led to the main reason why he was removed has to do with how he was running the house and his relationship with the government, more than any other suggestions that for me are trivial. Any
Okay,
Lagosian has the
thank you.
right, if you have reached the age, to contest for governor. And a lot of people have contested for governor before, and they didn't resign their positions. They were not sacked. They were not removed. So he is not the first person, and he still has the right to contest, even now that he was removed as speaker. Being speaker
Okay,
cannot make him governor. Being
okay,
speaker
thank you.
is not the reason why he will become governor.
Thank you so much, Uche. And unfortunately, we've run out of time on that particular aspect of it. And let us quickly come back to the studio here where we're having this conversation. And you've listened from Uche Nadozie. You also have your reservations. And but then he has tried as much as possible to actually clarify the issue between the governor and the Lagos State Speaker of the House of former Lagos State Speaker of the House of Assembly. Now we have a lady. Is it an issue of gender balance?
At least it's long overdue already, so.
Okay, you can see what we always say, that the ladies will always support themselves.
Yes.
But
No, but it's good.
unfortunately, the men
It's
did
good.
not support themselves in the House of Assembly.
No, for Obasa, he had a lot of issues. He have a lot of skeleton in his cupboard. So I'm not surprised with what he's going through, because a lot happened. And when you are fighting a state governor, you know how the state governors deal these days. They are more like emperors. You understand? So for you to come out and then start bamboozling them when they give you something to do on their behalf, it looks somehow, and that is the problem he got into. So for me, Obasa will just quietly go and sit in the normal seat of everywhere where he will be presiding, and now he will be like a normal house member. So I wish him well, and he should write carefully.
Well, that's a very good one, and you wished him well. But for me, I feel he's very, very comfortable in that seat, and he needed something. You know, for man, our wants or our needs are insatiable, so we always keep up with what is next after this. Because as we are all seated here now, the moment the program ends, we look at something else to do.
Of course,
Isn't it? For
course,
him, he has
of
been there
course.
for almost 10 years. That's the longest serving
Yes.
State House of Assembly
In the
speaker that I've
whole
actually
country.
known. So if he has been there, so he is very, very comfortable, and he needs a bit of discomfort.
Even in his video, in his statement yesterday,
Yeah.
he said he's still
The speaker,
legitimate
you see?
Speaker of the House of Assembly.
That is why some of these people, they don't like leaving power. They feel as if they should make him like an emir of the.
So we're going on a very short break now, and when we return, we take some of the dailies for today. Welcome back from that mild one, climaxing that conversation on the issue of the Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, in person of Right Honorable Obasa former, and how he raised major concern about the process that the House of Assembly took in his removal, stating that it is not very, very clear that it was a vague process. It must be transparent before the House can come out and state it clear that he was actually removed. But from all indication, it seems the governor is actually a bit comfortable with the present Speaker of the House of Assembly. Having her from Apapa is a very good one for majority of those who are from that particular zone. Will definitely be happy. The Apapa, Ijora axis, Olodi Apapa, Marine Beach, and the rest of it like that. For many of us who grew up in that particular locality, we know how important it is for us to have a speaker from that particular axis. Last but indeed is a name that we should actually be looking up to in the nearest future of politics in Lagos State. And let us quickly take some of the dailies this morning. And on the front page of the Nation newspaper, we have Wike Bala Muhammad clash over protracted PDP crisis. Wike Bala Muhammad clash over protracted PDP crisis. This is coming from the tussle within the PDP, stating it clear that Wike seems not to be, for them, they feel, just like Bala Muhammad stated, they say that Wike, he cannot be trusted. He is a betrayer. Abraham, what do you have to say to
Yes,
this?
definitely they will look at him that way. But and he also gave it back to Mohammed by saying that when I was taking care of this party. You are just behind your wife. So I don't know what happened, what really happened. Is it that he was not even a governor then? So a lot is happening in the party, which we think is not too good for the party at this moment, because we are just running carefully to 2027. And this issue continues. What will happen? How will they even come up with the presidential candidate? That is the problem. And Wike is not going. And Wike don't want to leave. Wike is not saying anything. So what is the problem? They don't want to tell us who is at fault. You get the point. So for me,
must they tell you who is at fault?
yes,
in all this?
Nigerians want to know who is at fault. But maybe Hanifa will tell us who is at fault.
No, but the party leaders are actually not being fair to Wike or the other hand.
Okay.
You know that politics is about interest.
Okay.
Going for the interest that align with ease. So if the table turns on the other hand, they're actually going to do the same thing. Everybody is after my interest. He has gone for his interest now, and now they're calling him names. They don't want to leave him every then and now. He's wicked, and Wike is not even leaving the party for them.
No, but if you look at it, just recently, the governor of Rivers State actually paid a visit to Bala Muhammad in Bauchi State, saying that yes, this is the time for him to actually also show love, because the governor was actually in Rivers State to actually commission some of the projects, and he lost somebody, and the governor from Rivers State had to go and pay a complimentary visit and a condolence visit. So in this particular aspect, when you look at the PDP, is made up of so many tussles. Number one, just recently we knew how some of them were able to find their way into the office, and all this started during the 2023 National Convention when Wike lost in the presence of all those that he said they are actually betrayers.
Yes.
But politics to that level, don't you think is actually a betraying game? Because at the end of the day, there are so many issues. We look at personal interest, we look at national interest, and then we look at the party interest. But in this particular case, Wike, for him, is his personal interest, because he felt betrayed during the National Convention for him not to have picked the ticket of the PDP. And for that, what actually led, that was actually what led to his relationship with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where I believe they must have had understanding behind the scene, and that resulted in him being the minister of the FCT. And for him, it is one leg in and one leg out.
Yes.
So that's so still on that The Nation newspaper, we have on that front page of the Nation newspaper where we say, they said, just on the left hand part of the Nation, top left of it, it says security beefed up in Lagos Assembly. That's what we were discussing, and I was fortunate to have conversation with one of those persons involved, and many of them are actually keeping quiet. Nobody wants to take a particular turn with respect to who they are supporting in the public.
Nobody will say a word, because for Obasa to come to Abuja to meet Mr. President, they blocked him severally.
Yes.
Before he actually have time
to access,
meet. Yes. Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of issues. Lagos is not like any other state. There will be a lot of tension. So what they did is quite good, because for the commissioner of police to leave the chambers, just like that. Look at what happened in the case of Rivers. Do you know that they had to they went to an extent of trying to burn down the
It's not that they went to an extent, they actually burned down.
So you see, these are some of the things they need to be careful of, because he have a lot of followers for Obasa. He had a lot of people who believe in him and in his leadership.
Lagos is the center of commerce.
Yes, please.
And that there shouldn't be, it's a center of excellence,
yes,
sorry.
Please.
So there shouldn't be any major crisis in that state.
Yes.
If it snowballs into a major crisis, the president will be facing it just same way as the minister of FCT is actually.
But one thing I come to realize is that the president, the way he spoke is like he's more on the. But is he trying to?
You can't say the president. He's a politician. Do you know how the president emerged as the president?
He
is a politician. He always want to.
He said the way they removed Obasa is more like dictatorship, and
well, for that we allow them, because the GAC, I was told, will have to come in. But then the GAC, Governors Advisory Council, they are the major stakeholder in all this, and they'll be able to draw attention of everybody. They played a major role, don't forget, in the removal of not supporting Ambode before we got Sanwo-Olu on board. So let us quickly take the next on the dailies. And then on this, we have Daily Trust. Boko Haram kills 22 soldiers. Many civilian joint task force. We neutralized over 70 terrorists, the military stated, to counter that particular issue of them killing 22 soldiers. Anifa, with you, what do you see to this?
I watched the interview of the chief of defense staff when he was citing this, when he said it, but it was like, yes, at least they were actually able to overpower them by killing 70, and it was not just 70 terrorists, not just terrorists and bandits, even with their chief, like their bosses and the rest, they were actually neutralizing them. It was in that same interview, he said Turiji is about surrendering already, but they don't want him to surrender. They want to capture him.
They want to neutralize him or capture him?
Because they don't want stories of repentant Boko Haram terrorists anymore, and which is actually a good one from the side, because are these people really repented? Because over time, they go back into the society and become something else entirely, or even start their own terrorist group at the end of the day. So I actually commend the military, because this is actually a good one. We're just in January, and this has been achieved already.
Okay, just beneath that, we see picture of many, three killed, many injured as explosion rocks Niger mining site. I've said it before now that the issue of Niger State is still reoccurring on a bad note. The incident is one after the other. Not very good that we are losing life at this pace.
Most of the terrorists, they flow from Kebbi. They like move from Kebbi to Niger. So what we are seeing in Niger State is not a new thing. It's just that what we want is, we want the force, the armed forces to move, to have more of their base in all these areas, because we all know how they operate in Zamfara. They go to the mining site, they go to where they know they can have something for themselves. Most of these terrorists, we know how they fend for themselves. They have to go to where people are making money, so that they can get money from them.
They can actually scoop from them.
Yes, so that is what they do. So I'm not surprised with all this thing that is happening.
Okay.
But we need the GOC to do a lot of that.
I would have loved us to actually discuss the 6 billion naira Mambila project. Federal government, Sunrise Power, await Paris court. I think verdicts. And if you look at that particular case, about 6 Nigerians are involved. President Olusegun Obasanjo is Minister of Power, and the former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Ohandoka, and we have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his Attorney General. We have President Tinubu. It is happening now under him. We have President Muhammadu Buhari is Attorney General and the Minister of Power.
Yes.
And also the Sunrise, unfortunately, Sunrise is also is the chairman of that board is also a Nigerian.
Yeah.
So for President Muhammadu Buhari, it is stated that many people actually want to scoop money from Nigeria illegally, and that's one of the reasons why he kicked against this. And Obasanjo stated that during his tenure, he can only allow a minister to actually approve 250 million naira and nothing more. Any other thing comes through the fake. So let's take the last dailies of the day before we call it the final. Okay, and on the Punch newspaper, we have just at the top. Okay, let us take the major headline. Marketers may dump Dangote fuel as imported petrol costs 922 naira per litre. Anifa.
Okay, the import. Reading on the dailies this morning, we could see that the marketers are already dumping the Dangote fuel because they are getting it cheaper as the Dangote fuel has added price. Well, yeah, now it's not just the Dangote fuel added price. Even on the NNPC fuel has actually added price. As our last week, fuel was already selling from 1,050 naira at some filling station, and some are even selling higher than that. So I think now the marketers are trying to weigh their options and go for the ones cheaper for them, so that at the end of the day, everyone is in business to make profit. So the one that they can get to make more profit on. So that's what they're trying to lean towards right now.
Okay, still on the Punch newspaper, just top of the marketers may dump Dangote fuel, we have Wike's serial betrayer threat in PDP. So, well, we don't know why the party is actually not taking action on that. That will be left. We've already discussed that. But then we have still on the left-hand part of the Punch newspaper, just at the top left-hand part, Assembly tightens security as police promise peaceful plenary today. so much. It's definitely.
Yeah, definitely. That is what we're going to see. They will not allow everything to go unsecured. We know how the tension will be today. He will want to come as a normal, as yes, and then his
His supporters,
followers will
yes.
come with him. So it's going to be a rowdy section. So we just pray that everything went on good.
Okay, thank you so much, Abraham and Anifa Papa, for joining us this morning on this morning PMB morning edition. I'm conversing on issues that has to do with politics, business, and every other matters as it concerns the Nigerian citizens. And we hope and pray that this week will be a very beautiful one and a very, very successful one for every one of us. I'm here from the PMB morning show. And from my head, I say, have a wonderful day and stay blessed.
Thank you.